show how to sear a steak. It's the most basic way to do it. One of the most important things I kind of alluded to in the other video was to season things ahead of time. So I put salt and pepper on these steaks probably 3 hours ago, and I've left them out. They're now like room temperature, still a little cold. But the idea of like having meat come straight from the fridge and then season it and then into a pan because of bacteria is just not how bacteria works. It's absurd. And also, it kind of stays in the temperature danger zone much longer if it takes something cold and try and cook it. The middle is almost impossible to cook properly to the right temperature, and the outside gets overdone and it's a nightmare. So if you cook something at room temperature, you'll get a better finished product. And this applies to everything: meat, chicken, pork, veal, fish. The idea is to take something closer to the pan temperature than straight from freezing cold to scorching hot. The closer you get that balance, the better. I'm going to cook these to about medium well, and then we're going to let them rest. I'll set it up where there's a timer so you can see how long it takes for things to cool down with a temperature probe. I'm going to do a little demonstration about resting meat. It's important. The idea that comes right from the oven to a plate is absurd. You don't want that. The outside of the meat is like so hot and tense, and the inside is like kind of still cold. By resting it, it's almost like a weather system where the high and low pressure equalizes and becomes just the same, and there's no tension. You're relieving tension. So the meat rests, the inside continues to cook. We'll talk about carryover cooking. When you pull something out of the oven, it's still really hot. It's still cooking. It doesn't stop. And that's the point where I want to show you with the timer going and the thermometer. There'll be a time lapse and just give you an idea of how much hotter it gets from when we took it out of the oven, and how long it takes to go past even that initial temperature out of the oven and then start to cool down and actually rest. And that's how you get control. That's how you get things exactly how you want it, rather than this guesswork of pulling it out of the oven and it's got to be served at a certain time. It's like, no, do it calmly, collected, a little bit ahead of time, and then.
We have 2 room temperature steaks per pan, plenty of room between them so the pan can keep staying hot throughout the whole process. Then we're going to sear every side to get it nice and crispy, and then afterwards we're going to see where we're at temperature-wise before we even think about putting it in the oven. Because if you cut your steaks thin enough, they'll be cooked through. You can do it all in a pan. You can even take the pan off the heat and let it kind of rest in a hot pan that will continue to cook. So we are going to, right now, check the temperatures of the meat before they go in the oven. Then we'll put them in the oven and we'll check periodically with the probe just to make sure we don't overcook. So we're shooting for medium well with this.
I put it in 180. These steaks need to cook more. So I'm not going to give you a time or a temp. I'll give you a temperature, but I'm not going to know how much time. So if you ask me, well, how long do you go in for? That's what this is for. This is going to tell us exactly. So I put it in 180. So check every 6 minutes. So crack the door, find the skinniest one, put the probe in it. And again, I'm looking for medium well. So I'm definitely there. That's the thinnest one. So I got thicker ones that will be a lot lower temperature. And it's just, I'm not trying to teach you a recipe. I'm trying to teach you a technique and a technique to learn the technique. So you can just do it easily and relax. That's the point, is to do this and just cook relaxed and not worry about how much time. It's not how cooking works. It's temperature. So now I'll take those out, and then I'll set up kind of a resting station where you can watch how long from the time we take it out that the temperature keeps going up until it finally comes back down versus the timer. And that will give you an idea of why it's important to rest.
This little gauge setup here is to demonstrate carryover cooking, how the temperature went up from our initial check in the oven, and then how much it goes up before it starts going down by the timer on the right, which looks like it's in seconds. It's actually in minutes. So after 30 minutes, you still have a hot steak, believe it or not. Here's our final product ready to serve. It's well rested. It is the same doneness from edge to edge. Basically, it's missing that bullseye effect of the gray overcooked outer rim and the raw middle that it's just not cooked. So it's a good looking steak. It's a little overdone for my liking, but that's the temperature that was asked for. So there we are.
You notice when I was searing all the steaks how much smoke there was. There will also be the same amount of smoke when you do it. And this brings me to something that a lot of people don't know about their home kitchen. You can see directly behind me. That's my ventilation system. It goes up a chimney out the mast. Like it's purpose built. Where the one in your home isn't. 99.9% of the time, you might have a big stainless steel something over your stovetop, but no one has built an exhaust out of your home, which is the whole point. So what you have now is an expensive fan that will blow the smoke everywhere inside your kitchen and set off alarms. I wish it wasn't this way, but it is. And I want you to know ahead of time, be ready. Door open, a couple windows open. You can't just open one window, you have to open two, hopefully on either side, so the air can pass straight through and take the smoke with it. I promise you don't have it built into your home. Some places have a code where you have to have ventilation out of the kitchen. Chances are you don't. What you do is you turn your fan, what it has a setting in. It's almost not lying to you. It's almost telling you straight to your face, like, I don't suck, I blow. So hold a paper towel up to it. Does it hold the paper towel? And does it really hold the paper towel? To the fan, to the intake. That's a test. If it just barely holds it or blows it around, you're gonna have a smoky kitchen. Which is fine. Just be ready to open windows and doors while you pan sear anything, because it's gonna get smoky, especially beef, because of the amount of, or especially the cut that I did, New York strip, because there's so much fat that's gonna come off it, and that fat has a much lower smoke point than, say, olive oil or vegetable oil. It'll be smoky. It's worth it.